Hello everyone, Tmmgamer, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you another one of my Football Talk videos, the series where I spend a bit of time talking about the biggest recent issues and news stories in the world of football. And today's episode is going to be focused entirely on a report released this week by the FA focusing on the state of English football. And there's been quite a few headline proposals made, and it's got a lot of coverage in the press. And it really covers something very, very important, which is the real decline of English football. And this has been something which has been talked about for a very, very long time, and I think it's something which has been prevalent for a very, very long time. England have won one international tournament in their history, one, and that was in 1966, a long time ago now, a long, long time ago. And since that time, how many semi-finals have we made? How many realistic chances have we had of actually winning a tournament? Not many. Very, very few. Made the semi-finals a couple of times, and then we've had a lot of disappointing crashes out with a very, very talented team here and there, but in reality not enough. We've not done enough, and this report has come up with a number of suggestions to try and fix that. And the first one, which is the most obvious one, which everybody's been talking about, is the introduction of Premier League B teams. And this is a system that sort of works in Spain and Germany, where basically the B teams play in the lower leagues of the league system. They compete in competitive matches every week. They perhaps are allowed in certain cup competitions, and it's seen as a way to give competitive experience to young players. And this apparently has been supported by teams such as Manchester United, Liverpool and Manchester City, saying they lack the opportunity to play young players at a high level, and this is seen as a way to give them a lot more experience. And I think this is definitely one of the key problems we have in this country, is that young players have absolutely no opportunity to play football at a high level. If you look at a team like Manchester City, for example, they have spent millions and millions of pounds on academies and youth teams and all of this. And how many players have we seen from Manchester City's youth academy play in their first team? And that answer is zero. Absolutely zero. Because why would you play a talented 18-year-old when you can go and spend 30 million or however much you want on Yaya Toure or Sergio Aguero? And I think this is a major, major problem. The concern I have about this is that it's going to take something away from the league structure beneath it. For the Football League is a very, very important part of English football, and we don't want to completely demean that by having B teams just walk the league every time. And this is what's happening in Spain at the moment, where you have the second tier of Spanish football won by the Barcelona B team pretty much every season, and they can't get promoted because they can't play against their A team in La Liga. And it becomes a little farcical when you have these very, very historic, successful clubs in the Championship or in the second tier of the Spanish leagues being beaten by a B team of Barcelona. And is that really what we want to see? I'm not so sure about that. It's going to be interesting to see how it's formulated and how it's actually going to be put into practice, because it's one of the proposals, I think, which has received the most mixed response, because there's no doubt a lot of the other proposals are definitely required. But the B team one, for me, I'm not sure about it. I'm really not sure about it. It has worked in Spain, but like I say, it comes with a lot of consequences and a lot of costs which perhaps haven't been clearly talked about or established. And I think we need to be a little bit careful about introducing that. The next thing I want to talk about is this so-called EU player ban, because this is another thing that's really, really come to the forefront of this. The proposal set out by the FA is that in lower league football, no club will be allowed to sign non-EU players, because the argument goes that it's too easy for a lower league club just to sign a non-EU player really cheap, get him in to play, instead of giving a young player his opportunity. And I can understand the idea behind this, because obviously it's the old foreigners coming to take our jobs argument again, which is peddled by so many tabloid newspapers when it comes to real life jobs. I'll say real life in inverted commas here, but it has its place in football as well, when people say, oh, our young players don't get opportunity because of all of these foreign imports. And that is true, but is it really that much of a problem at League 2 level, League 1 level? I don't see Scunthorpe fielding 11 Brazilians. It's just something that doesn't happen. For a lower league team, it is a lot cheaper for them to play a youngster than it is to get a foreign import. You know, if you're gonna do that, you have to do it at Premier League level, because I think that's the level where it really matters. You know, we have all of these academy systems now, all of this money getting pumped in by the Premier League clubs, and how many real top-class English youths have come through in the last few years? You know, if you look at Southampton, you've got Luke Shaw. If you look at Everton, you've got Ross Barkley. And beyond that, who else do we have, really? Saido Berahino at West Brom. You know, Raheem Sterling's come through at Liverpool. That's about it. And is it really going to make a massive difference by stopping Accrington Stanley from signing a Bolivian than it is to actually say to Premier League clubs, you know, you've got to start playing these good young talents? And the thing that really, you know, I really don't like about this is the homegrown player system, because I think that is just such rubbish. It's untrue. Because we had the old thing at Arsenal, like Cesc Fabregas counted as a homegrown player because he'd spent so much time at the Arsenal Youth Academy. I think this is one of the key problems with our current system. It's not that, you know, League One teams are signing non-EU players. It's that all the Premier League teams are snapping up these incredibly talented 16-year-old Spaniards, and because they stay at Arsenal for 5 years and all of a sudden they become homegrown, all of the youth teams are packed out with very, very talented foreign players instead of giving our young players an opportunity. And you know, this was sort of touched on in the B team proposals, where again, you know, I think it was 20 players had to be homegrown. But again, this homegrown thing is very, very dodgy, and I really don't like this. And this, for me, is the main problem with football at the moment. You know, we have all of these top quality teams bringing in all these young foreign players, these young talented imports, age 16, age 17, and it just takes away so many opportunities throughout all the levels, you know, youth level all the way up to the first team, is that there's no room anymore, because instead of developing a young English player, they're getting a talented guy that they've poached off Barcelona. And this, for me, is a major, major problem. You know, you can talk about lower league football as much as you like, but the fact of the matter is, you know, it's the percentage of players playing in the Premier League which is the key part of maintaining a successful national side here. And the percentage of players in the Premier League is hovering around 30%. You know, it has collapsed. And I think the target was to get it back to, you know, below 50%. It was like 45%. That is such a low target. You know, if you look at Spain, if you look at Germany, all of these other nations, the percentage of homegrown, and actually mean legitimately homegrown here, you know, German players playing in Germany is so much higher. And we sit back and we wonder why our national team isn't as good as the Spanish team or as good as the German national team. And that's the main reason. And, you know, part of that problem, again, is the wealth of the Premier League. And this is the major thing for me, is that there's so much money in English football now that it's become too immediate. There's too much demand for now, results immediately, screw everything else. And I've been talking about this all this season, about why I think it's absolutely insane that clubs sack their managers so much. I mean, we had the ludicrous situation at Fulham where they sacked 2 managers this season. I mean, how stupid is that? And obviously, it still got them relegated, and I'm actually quite glad that Fulham went down, not because I have anything against Fulham or the fans or anything, but just to go to show that you cannot sack managers this regularly and be successful. It just doesn't work. And the same thing goes with all of the homegrown players and the British-based players. I'm going to stop using homegrown because, you know, I'm confusing it with the actual, you know, British, English, Scottish, Welsh players. You know, they don't get played because the consequences of getting relegated from the Premier League are so vast that what would you rather do? If you were in any team's position, what would you rather do? Would you go out and spend 20 million on a proven international foreign player, or would you risk it on an 18-year-old Englishman or an 18-year-old Scotsman who hasn't had much experience and will have a few dodgy games here and there because he's inexperienced and youthful? You know, there's only one answer there, and that's the foreign player. You know, there needs to be a lot more focus on the Premier League here, because, you know, at the end of the day, you can bring in all of these B teams, you can put all of these limits on foreign imports, you can do all of this, you can spend all of this money, but at the end of the day, if these players are not going to get picked for Premier League clubs, there's no hope. And that's what I think the current proposals are sort of missing at the moment. They're getting all of this groundwork put in, all of these B teams, all of these banning, you know, League One teams from signing non-EU players and all of that. But unless you can compete with the foreign imports at Premier League level, unless you can really incentivise teams to play young English players, talented English players at the highest level, you're going to struggle. And this is the main thing for me. And a big part of this is that this country doesn't produce enough players who are talented enough to play at Premier League anymore. The Premier League has become the best league in the world, and I don't think there's any doubt it's the best league in the world, because people say, oh, what about the Spanish league? The Spanish league is, has 2 astronomically filthy rich teams. It has 1 or 2 other very, very competitive teams, and then the rest of the league is sliding towards administration. And that is not a good league, is it? It's not a good league at all. And the thing is, it's not a good system either, because Barcelona and Real Madrid are funded basically by loans they never have to repay. And it's just, that is not a good example of what a league system has to be. And you look at Germany again. Germany, it has one of the biggest clubs in the world. It has about 2 or 3 very, very talented teams. And the rest of the league is average. And this is the key. The Premier League, from 20th position to 1st position, is incredibly, incredibly competitive. Who would have thought that Crystal Palace would come back from 3-0 down against Liverpool, one of the best sides in the country, and blitz 3 goals in 11 minutes and draw the game? Would that have happened if Real Madrid were 3-0 up with 11 minutes to go against some minor Spanish league team? Would that have happened? Absolutely no chance. But this is what I'm saying, the competition, the money, the standard is cutting out these English players. And like I touched on, it's because we don't create enough high quality English players in this country anymore. And one of the major reasons for that is the coaches. I mean, there's a stat here I have from 2010, just to go show how far this problem goes back. There are only, this was like 3 years ago now, 4 years ago, there were only 2,769 English coaches holding the top 3 UEFA licenses in this country. Spain had 24,000 coaches, Italy 30,000, and Germany 35,000 holding these top 3 licenses. That is just ludicrous. And I was speaking to one of my friends at work, and saying, we were talking about the report, and he was saying that the cost is very, very prohibitive. The FA report touched on this, saying that coaches had to travel to Wales because they didn't have the necessary teaching facilities nearby to improve their coaching standards and get a higher badge. So they had to travel around, and it's very, very expensive to get the high UEFA licenses. Football in this country generates so much money, yet we are forcing our coaches, the people who are actually going to generate the talent for our national side, to pay thousands of pounds in travel and teaching expenses to actually be able to coach kids. It's just absolutely ludicrous. If the FA was actually deadly serious about doing this, tomorrow morning what they do is they issue a press report saying, we will give you 90% subsidies. Me and us in the Premier League will combine together, and we will give any coach who wants to do these badges, we will give them 90% subsidies. We will pay it for you. And straight away, the number of applications would go through the roof, and all of a sudden we would have all of these coaches who are qualified. Because the FA report said again that too many of these coaches coaching young children, where a lot of footballing knowledge really takes hold. When you're 6, 7, 8, 9, you listen to everything, you take everything in, you learn really quickly. And if at that age you've only got a level 1 coach, you're not going to be taught how to have great ball skills and pass and move and how to defend properly. You're going to be taught, right, that kid's overdeveloped, whack it upfield to him and he'll run past people and stick it in, because we're playing at 9 years old on a full-size pitch with a midget in goal. So basically, if you get the shot on target, it's not straight at his face, it's going in. This is the challenge we're faced with at the moment. And the thing is, we've got so much money in this country, and that's the thing that really annoys me. This is not some really poor football association who's having to scrape together to get a bit of funding to get some coaches. This is a football association with money coming out of every orifice, with the richest league in the world at the head of its football league system. And we cannot get enough money together to make it financially viable for people to become coaches in this country. It is just sickening. There's just so much greed in football now. and it has come at the detriment of our national team, and there is no doubt about that. So yeah, this FA report has come up with a lot of good suggestions and a lot of things which definitely need to be dealt with. But until we actually take a bit of the money out of the boardroom and put it into grassroots football and better facilities and better coaches, you can create as many B teams as you want, and you can have as many academies as you want, and you can ban as many non-EU players, EU players, Bolivians, Spaniards, anything. You can ban them all from coming into the country. It will not matter unless we actually give our youngsters decent coaching. And until that happens, we can sit here and we can waffle away and we can throw money anywhere we want. Nothing will change. And this is what I actually want to happen. For once, this country is notorious for sitting around, being very, very traditional, talking. We actually need to have some action now. We actually need someone to grab football and just give it a metaphorical shake and say, you know, what are we doing with ourselves? How can we have, you know, the paradox of creating all of this money, yet having these terrible facilities, and we have all of these opportunities, but coaching is so ludicrously expensive, and there's no career path, and there's no point, because you're paying all thousands and thousands of pounds for a coaching badge, and then you know you're playing in a horrible damp Sunday where the ground floods every week, so you can't even play and you can't even coach, and there's no floodlights anywhere. So even in the middle of winter, you come out of school at your 3:30 and it's getting dark, so you're trying to train in the dark, and it's just like, what is going on? It's just, it's insane. It is flat out insane. And I'm just, all of these reports, you know, until I see it, I'm like a very, very cynical person at heart when it comes to all of this stuff. Because, you know, for all of this goodwill and all of these good ideas, until we actually invest money where it matters, nothing's going to change. So guys, on that unfortunately cynical note, this is the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed listening to it. As always, I'll be very, very interested to hear what you have to say. You know, this is a very, very big report. It's had a lot of media attention, good and bad, a lot of discussion about it, and I would be interested to hear your opinion. So once again, thank you so much for listening, and as always, have a great day.